queue players that are, you know. I mean, srtty had all the hype and narrative and story around him. srtty had like, imagine in WWE, like, you have the NXT champion, right? You have the person that has all the fucking hype and everything that you could possibly want. srtty had it prior to joining LTA. And then nothing happens. And the reason that nothing happens, there's a combination of factors. One, competitive is different from solo queue. Two, he's on a really poor team. And so there's going to be a limit to what you can do because most pro players at the pro level aren't willing to gamble. And then also they don't utilize bluffs. That was really good. That was genuinely so good by Contracts. Yeah, pro players don't actively engage in bluffs, and they don't actively engage in gambling. Not like gambling money and stuff, but like, there's a reason that you don't really see solo kills anymore in competitive. It's because in order to chase a solo kill or to play for a solo kill, and to actually accrue CS leads, you have to be willing to take gambles in a way that if it fails, or like if you miss a skill shot, or like something that you do ends up going wrong and the opponent outplays you, you actually are the initiator to the play or the result that they're seeking. So if the result that you're seeking is a CS advantage or a solo kill, in order to go for that, the play that you must make, if it ends up failing, ends up rewarding the opponent for the exact thing that you were seeking. And if it ends up failing and rewarding them, it often ends up rewarding them in a greater way than what you would have achieved had you succeeded initially. And so that's the reason that everyone just handshakes lanes. And that's the reason that typically the way that you judge or evaluate lanes is by recall timers and CS deficits, for the most part. Now, if you really want to be a crazy person, that's why like players like Nuggery in the past, Khan, once upon a time, Summit when he was in LTA, you know, these types of players, the reason that they get the solo kills and they get the CS advantages and they get these other types of things is because they're willing to take the information that their team is giving to them, as well as whatever psychology they're reading from their lane opponent, and then they're willing to do those things because they think, I will win, or I will outtrade you, or I will, you know, I will, and which is interestingly another reason why like you see Whippo sometimes end up getting solo killed and taking solo kills. It's because Whippo has the belief that he will win the trade, and he will actively play for those things. And it has to be a conscious decision. Most pro players don't want to make those decisions because the way that social media works and the way that pro play works nowadays is your entire status, brand, and worth as a player is also somewhat tied to your social media perception. So if you go for the solo kill, you get clapped instead, well, nothing happens. It's a lot easier to just fit in, be a sheep, and then hope that your teammates play worse than you. That way you don't get replaced and your job is safe. True. Welcome to fucking League of Legends. But anyways, yes, if a player like Zeus was in NA, he would probably just play a standard version of the game better than the opponent, and it would end up happening naturally without him having to force it. But at the same time, a player like Zeus would also try to force it and succeed. So that's fine. Ba-da-da-da-da.